So I ended up playing 999 again for the second time around. Every time I play this game, it seems to me that I learn more and more about the game. It reminds me of how great the cast was, how the story came into place, and everything about how in-depth everything was. The puzzles, the character conflicts, everything about the game truly shined to me again. And it's something I could probably never forget. Let's talk about what 999 teaches us. Apparently, the biblical meaning of 999, according to the scripture, seeing 999 is symbolic of salvation, virtue, and letting go of the past. I think this is necessarily important because it does relate to everything that happened within the past. Of Akane's past, everything that did transpire. From everything from Akane being kidnapped, being forced to play this death game, she ends up dying, unfortunately. Out of Seven's best efforts, he wasn't able to save her in that timeline that which she died. With that being said, is that the true meaning of the game? To let go of the past? I don't think so. I do think that this does have some sort of input within this game, and it has definitely a good meaning, and it definitely goes well with one another. I don't think that that's the true message the game's trying to convey. Here we have Akane, trying to save herself through Junpei's choices and decisions indirectly using the morphogenetic field. She does this to fix the timelines to which they all survive and get out safely. She doesn't necessarily want to cause harm to anybody by showing at the end of the game that there was actually no detonators for them at all. All she wanted to do was, like I said, save herself. Junpei accepts this, but he also internally, without him really actually knowing this, is kind of bitter about the entire thing. He goes through literally hell to solve multiple puzzles, to seeing many people die in front of him. He's been through literally hell, memorizing everything that's happened, and all to save Akane. This creates some sort of solace within Junpei, and conflict as well. He wants to save Akane no matter what. But is he really okay with that? We see at the end of the game that Junpei seemed to be fine driving home in the Nevada desert, but I feel like psychologically, not only could that take a massive toll on you, but knowing what's to come, seeing what happened in VLR and Zero Time Dilemma, it seems like Junpei obviously wasn't okay. Or you can look at it from a different lens. When Junpei realized the truth, Junpei understood everything. That's why, in the game, he made sure that despite it all being completely planned out, he still had to save her. I suppose you can call it selfishness, but if Junpei didn't save her, then that 12-year-old girl would die. Junpei did have strong feelings for her, yes, but that wouldn't really matter. Even if it were just some stranger, Junpei would have saved her regardless. No matter how he may have been tricked, or put in danger, or murdered in an alternative history, Junpei would have done the same exact thing. I think we can see the overall picture with both of these perspectives respectively. Here we have Junpei suffering through all these timelines, growing tired, growing bitter, but at the end of the day, he still decides to save Akane no matter what. It really speaks to how strong of a character he really is. As Santa once said, in an emergency, there's room for inspiration to emerge. That inspiration paved Junpei and Akane to the correct and true ending, giving everybody a satisfying conclusion. With all that being said, what is the game really trying to convey? What is it trying to tell us, the observer of this entire game? Even through the worst timelines, you cannot allow yourself to despair. You can't allow yourself to give up. I know it's kind of a generic lesson, but I think that's what it's actually trying to convey. It's kind of like what Snake said with the 4-leaf clover.
Every one of you has a brother or a sister in Building Q with Clover. For their sake, we have to survive. We have to get off this ship. Do you understand? If we're going to do that, there are 3 things you have to remember. We need trust and love, and we have to have faith in one another. If we can take all 3 of those to heart, then I promise that good luck will come our way. Did you know that the leaves on the 4-leaf clover mean faith, trust, love, and luck? Those words are leaf words. So if you believe what I've told you, and you understand, then I want you each to have one of these. They're a promise between friends. Now don't ever forget, so long as you have that, we will always be connected.
I think that simple message is actually quite better than a convoluted message. mainly because I think it hits harder when it comes down to it. Everything that Junpei experienced, everything that he went through, all the suffering that he's been through, and all the other characters have been through, including Clover, Snake, and more, it just sends a more powerful message. It resonates with so many that life is unforgiving, it's cruel, it's filled with terrible people, but at the end of the day, you have to fight through it. You have to survive. You have to find a way out. Thank you everybody for watching.